Saul became a wether. That was how Dagon thought of him after Stephen. Not a man first. A name that made rooms lower their lamps, made women gather children too quickly, made men move baskets and remember routes. The scattered learned his name the way travelers learn storm signs. A stranger asking too carefully who sleeps where. A cousin who stops sending bread. Mara did not waste fear. Her fear counted food, water, names, exits, which widow needed a stronger walking stick, which boy had too much pride to admit blisters. Yos had blisters. He denied it with the confidence of a liar still new enough to think confidence helped. Your foot is bleeding, Mara said. No, then your sandal is bleeding. Dagon laughed. Yos glared at him. Road teaches, Dagon said. Road hurts. Same teacher. Bad teacher. Often. They had gone north in pieces, not as one caravan, one group toward Samaria, one toward villages with relatives, one toward the coast, one toward nowhere with a better story prepared if stopped. Dagon, Mara, the child, Yos, and 2 widows moved with a trader's family for 3 days, then left them when the roads split, and the trader began asking too many questions about money owed by dead men. News traveled faster than carts. Philip in Samaria, people listening, people healed. Peter and John going down, then back, an Ethiopian official on a road reading baptized, vanishing into his own country with a story too large for one chariot. Dagon liked that one. Why? Mara asked. Because the road got him. That explains nothing. It explains everything. She let it stand because she was tired, then came Damascus, at first only as a direction. Saul had letters and authority. He was not content with Jerusalem fear. He wanted roads, synagogues, houses, names carried back bound. The news reached them in a village where the well-rope smelled of old fiber and the women measured strangers with better accuracy than judges. Dagon heard it from a man who spoke too loudly because he liked being the first bearer of dread. Damascus, the man said. He goes with papers, men and women both. Women both. Dagon looked toward Mara. She was helping one widow lower a jar. The child slept in shade. Yos stood near the bread bundle, pretending not to watch a fig seller's hands. Men and women both. We turn west, Dagon said that night. Mara looked up from wrapping the child's cloth. Do we? Yes, because Saul goes north. Because Saul goes north with papers. We are not in Damascus. Roads connect. Fear also connects. Good. Then it understands me. Mara tied the cloth slowly. Dagon, no, I have not said anything. You are about to say wisdom. Then save time and listen. He paced 3 steps, small room, bad for pacing, good for being trapped by truth. We have widows with us, she said. A child, Yos, little bread, worse sandals. If we turn west, we walk into villages where no one expects us and explain ourselves badly. If we continue, we travel with people who know names, wells, and which houses still open. Saul is danger, so is panic. You make panic sound unreasonable. It often is. Sometimes it saves lives. So does eating before walking. He stopped. The child made a soft sound in sleep, as if agreeing with his mother because betrayal began early in families. I do not want him near you, Dagon said. Mara's face softened. Softening was worse. I know, if he comes, then we move. If he has men, we hide. If he finds us, we tell the truth before it grows teeth. He hated when his own borrowed wisdom returned armed against him. That may get us killed. Yes. There was no comfort in her voice, only company. 2 days later, the weather changed. Not Saul, news of Saul, it came limping. A man arrived near evening, with dust caked white at his sandals and eyes wide, from carrying a thing too strange for one road. He had come from traders who had come from men near Damascus who had heard from someone with a cousin at a house on the straight street. By the time the story reached Dagon, it had passed through so many mouths that any sensible person would have set it aside. No one sensible did. Saul had fallen. Light, a voice, blindness, led by the hand into the city he had meant to enter with authority. Dagon laughed once sharply. The room looked at him. Sorry, he said. He was not. Mara watched him. Do not enjoy it too much. I am enjoying it the correct amount. You do not know that amount. He came for men and women. He held coats. He approved. Then if God struck him blind on the road, perhaps God has manners after all. Mara did not answer. She only folded a cloth. What? Dagon asked. I am thinking of Ananias. Who? The man they say was told to go to him. Dagon stared. No, that is what they say. Then they say foolishness. Likely. You do not send a sheep to check whether the wolf has become thoughtful. No, you send no one, and yet. Do not, and yet Saul. Mara looked at him then, Jesus and yet you. That struck hard enough that he had to sit, not because it was the same, it was not. Dagon had been a thief, coward, liar, road jackal when hunger pressed. Saul had become organized danger with authority in his hands and zeal in his mouth. Men like Saul made men like Dagon possible by breaking enough families to leave boys on roads. Not the same. Still, Jesus and yet you. I did not hold coats, Dagon said. Mara's face did not move. No, you carried a message once. Illy, smoke, the bad wing of the carved bird. The room went quiet inside Dagon, though people still spoke around him. That is cruel, he said. Yes, true. Also, yes, he lowered his head. Mara came and sat beside him because she did not use truth to leave a man bleeding if she had not meant to kill him. Mercy is not the same as forgetting what Saul did, she said. Good. It is not trusting him quickly. Better. It is not making the wounded comfort him. Say that again. No, please. She did. Mercy is not making the wounded comfort him. Dagon breathed. Then what is it? I do not know. He looked at her. You usually know, not this. That frightened him more than Saul. News came over the next days in pieces, each one stranger because the first had not gone away. Ananias went. Ananias called Saul brother. Dagon refused to believe that part for most of an afternoon. Saul's sight returned. Saul was baptized. Saul ate. Of course, eating entered the story. The body, rude and necessary, insisting that even transformed enemies required bread. Then the worst part, Saul proclaimed Jesus. Dagon walked out when he heard that. He did not go far. Mara had trained him better than old grief had. He went to the well and sat on the low stone wall. Women drew water nearby and pretended not to notice the man having a theological argument with dust. The lip of the well had been worn down by ropes, deepest on the side where the women stood. Dagon watched a woman draw. She used her whole back, a smooth crouch hand rise that moved the bucket up the shaft in one steady column. The bucket cleared the lip. She tilted it into her jar without spilling a finger's worth. He sat and waited for his own theology to settle. Yos came after him, not Mara. That was tactical and unfair. The boy sat beside him with the solemnity of someone delivering news he hoped would make him important. Mara says I should not ask questions. Good. So I came to sit. Worse. They sat. Yos picked at a scab on his knee. If Saul can change, does that mean anyone can? Dagon looked at him. The boy's face was too carefully casual. Ah, there it was, not Saul. Yos, the thief, hearing mercy for the persecutor and wondering if his own small crime still had room under it. Dagon wanted to answer quickly. Yes, anyone. No, not easily. Mercy is not a trick for skipping consequence. Anyone can be found, Dagon said finally. Yos looked disappointed by the lack of drama. That is not the same. No, what if they do not want to be? Dagon thought of Saul on the road, entering Damascus blind, led by hands he had expected to bind. Then being found may feel like breaking. Yos considered this. That sounds bad. Often, but good. Also often. The boy nodded as if filing the answer among other inadequate tools. Did it hurt when he found you? Dagon looked at the well mouth, dark below, water waiting under stone, rope marks in the lip from years of need. Yes, you cried? No. Yos looked at him. Dagon sighed. Yes. The boy smiled slightly. Good. Do not enjoy that too much. I am enjoying it the correct amount. Dagon closed his eyes. He had taught the boy too well in the wrong places. When he returned, Mara had news of another kind. Saul was in danger now. The hunted had become hunted. Dagon laughed again, but this time the sound had less pleasure in it. The story said disciples helped him escape the city, lowered him in a basket through an opening in the wall. A basket. Dagon had to sit down again. What? Mara asked. Baskets. Yes. Widows, bread, money, Saul. She understood, of course. The kingdom had a strange sense of tools. It did not use impressive things when humiliating ones would tell the truth more clearly. Saul entered Damascus with letters and left in a basket. Dagon could respect the basket, not Saul yet. Weeks later, they met a man who had seen Saul after. Thinner, fiercer in another direction. Some feared him, some argued, some called him brother and sounded as if they were testing the word for poison. The road had broken Saul and handed him back as witness. Difficulty, Dagon was learning, was not evidence against truth. That night he took out the carved bird and showed it to Yos. He had not planned to. The boy held it carefully. It is ugly, Yos said. Yes. Who made it? A girl. You stole it. Not exactly. That means yes. Yes. Yos turned it over. Why keep it? Dagon looked toward Mara and the child asleep beside her. Because I carried guilt badly for a long time, and now I am learning to carry memory. Yos ran a thumb over the bad wing. Can I make one? A bird? No, something ugly to remember better. Dagon almost said no, then did not. Yes, he said, but do not steal the wood. Yos looked offended by the obviousness. Progress, perhaps. Outside, the road continued toward cities where Saul's name would become argument, threat, witness, letter, wound, correction, and eventually ink at tables Dagon had not yet seen. For now, he was only a man